Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the video. It is Friday, October 12th. Just got here, just got out of Mega Replay. Went inside to get a few Blu-rays here in Fort Wayne. I actually went to go see Venom last night here in Fort Wayne. Then I was hanging out with my buddy John. We played Fortnite and stuff. And I was going to put out a Venom review this morning. And I was going to kind of put out like my whatever out of 10 that I always do on my Instagram and Snapchat. But I need to see this movie again before I rate it. Venom is my all-time favorite comic book character, all-time favorite comic book character, hero, villain, whatever. After what they did to him in Spider-Man 3, which we will not talk about, I have really been anticipating this movie. I love Tom Hardy, and I really kind of liked the trailers. And after seeing the movie last night, there were some things that didn't really sit well on the first viewing, but then there were other things that I absolutely loved. So I was kind of on both sides of the spectrum when it came to this Venom movie. So I want to see it again. I'm going to go see it with my dad later tonight, and I will give you my full review afterwards at the end of this video. But I went inside to grab a few Blu-rays, they have a deal at Mega Replay. It's always buy 5, get 1 free, and I couldn't just decide on 5. So once I crossed that 5 and I had 7 that I wanted, I figured I would just buy 10 and get 2 free. So decided to get some, and I'll show you what I got real quick. Picked up Don't Breathe here on Blu-ray. I have not seen this, but I've heard really good things, so I picked that up. Got The Accountant with Ben Affleck. Absolutely love The Accountant, so figured I would throw that in my collection. Then I got Blockers, which is one of my favorite comedies. Actually, probably my favorite comedy of this year. Absolutely loved it. Picked up Bambi because I am trying to complete my Disney collection, and I'm getting really close. So I picked up Bambi there on Blu-ray. Also picked up Aladdin on Blu-ray, which is my all-time favorite Disney movie. And I actually have Aladdin on Blu-ray already, but I don't have the Diamond Edition. And I really wanted the Diamond Edition, but I just never got around to picking it up at Walmart or Target whenever it came out. I actually have a bootlegged Blu-ray version from like the UK. So I want the actual official Blu-ray version, which is Aladdin right here. Then I also picked up Bad Moms, which was one of my favorite comedies over the past couple of years. Absolutely loved it. It's actually one of my favorite movies of the year back when it came out in like 2016, I think. Absolutely love Bad Moms. Then I picked up American Hustle, which is just always a good movie to kind of throw in if it's a rainy day like today. Just a good movie to sit down and watch. I really like it. So and the cast is amazing. You have Bradley Cooper, Amy Adams, Christian Bale, Jennifer Lawrence, Jeremy Renner, just an absolute all-star cast. And then I picked up Bad Moms, which is another hilarious comedy. I was kind of in a comedy mood today. Picked up Girls Trip there, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which is a classic. And then the all-time classic of all classics when it comes to comedies, 4-Year-Old Virgin, which I can't believe I don't already have the 4-Year-Old Virgin in my collection, but nonetheless I didn't. And I picked up Expendables 2, which in my opinion is my favorite of the Expendables franchise, because that's kind of when they accepted that this is just kind of a dumb action movie with a bunch of old retired action stars, and they kind of went for it in that movie. And then I also picked up Hancock, which kind of gets forgotten about as a superhero movie from the early 2000s, but actually a really good movie. I really kind of enjoy Hancock, so I picked that up as well. But now, about to go get some lunch, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Guys, so here at the gym for leg day, just finished up, but what I'm going to do is kind of overlay some of the clips and talk about what I have been doing with my new split. I'm still hitting legs minimum twice a week, but what I'm doing, because I had an injury this past summer and I've been trying to kind of like rehabilitate myself back to being able to squat heavy twice a week, minimum twice a week. What I've been doing is a lot of volume for my legs, a lot of accessory exercises, Romanian deadlifts, hamstring curls, quad extensions, hip abductors and adductors, lunges, tons and tons of lunges. Just a lot of different accessory exercises with a lot of volume. And honestly, I know I always post about it on Snapchat about how my legs are small, how my legs never grow, but I have actually noticed a little bit of growth in my legs since I have started to back off squatting heavy and start doing more volume. And honestly, I know I'm team no calves, but my tiny little baby calves have started to grow a little bit since I have started to just increase my overall volume of calf raises and all my other exercises, and ending my workouts with a little bit of HIIT cardio. I will put the treadmill at like 2-ish. I put it on a slight incline between 2 and 4, nothing drastic, but then I'll either do interval sprints or I will just go as hard as I can, as fast as I can for like 3 or 4 sets. Today, I maxed out the treadmill 12.4 miles per hour on 3 incline, and I did that for exactly 1 minute. I did that 3 times, and let me tell you what, it killed me. Like, my legs right now are dead. Are they more dead when I'm squatting heavy? It's a different kind of dead. My entire body feels taxed when I do heavy squats, and I'm doing that regularly. But right now, just my legs, I can feel there's so much blood in them, and they are just absolutely smoked. So that is kind of what I have been doing. I am still squatting heavy, but I'm only limiting it to 1 time per week. So I'm having a heavy leg day and then a volume leg day, and I actually have noticed some decent results from it. So I'm going to continue that throughout this bulk, kind of as long as I feel like it's working, or until I feel like I really want to start squatting heavy twice a week again. But for the foreseeable future, especially the near future, I'm still going to be doing 1 high volume day and then 1 heavy day. So today was the high volume day, but now... Alright guys, so home from the gym, showered real quick, got my new Spider-Man shirt on from the Spider-Man PS4 game, which, by the way, is so freaking good. If you have not played the new Spider-Man PS4 game, or you don't have a PS4 to play it on, buy a PS4 and play the new Spider-Man game, because it's amazing. But now I've got my protein shake here on deck. That way it'll hold me over until I go get a bowl of popcorn at the movie theater, because I cannot, while I'm bulking, if I'm in a surplus, I am 100% getting, the light shut off, I am 100% getting popcorn. But about to head to the theater, watch Venom for the 2nd time. After I get home from seeing Venom for the 2nd time, I will give you guys my official review for this movie, because, again, I have to see this movie a 2nd time, because there's just too many things from this movie that were way too far on the spectrum, and I want to find a middle ground so I can have a better review. So about to head to the movies, see Venom, and I'll see you guys afterwards.
We are Venom.
Alright guys, so just got home from seeing Venom for the 2nd time, and like I said earlier, just want to preface this review with the fact that Venom is my all-time favorite comic book character, movie character, anything. Not movie character so much, because honestly the only other time that Venom has been in a movie was Spider-Man 3. Least favorite movie ever. Hated that portrayal. We don't talk about that, so completely separate. So Venom is my favorite comic book character of all time. I love when he was introduced in the Secret Wars timeline in the comic books, and I have loved his character through the animated show, and I really just like everything to do with the Spider-Man storyline. However, we know that this is not part of the MCU. We know that this is not part of the Spider-Man timeline as we know it right now. So, when you go into the movie, if you are a big Venom fan and you're a big Venom fan of the Spider-Man storyline, you have to take yourself out of that mindset, because it is not part of the MCU. And the first time I saw this movie, it was hard for me to get out of that mindset. That's why I was leaning more towards disliking the movie than liking the movie. I told you I love parts of this movie, and I hate parts of this movie. And I was somewhere in between, and I was leaning more towards the dislike part of this movie, because I was really in the mindset I wanted my Venom to have Spider-Man. I wanted it to be part of the MCU, but it's not. And when you look at it as not part of the MCU, you can really start to lean more towards the parts of this movie that are to love. Venom, when he's on screen, looks amazing. This is the Venom that I have always wanted to see on the big screen. This looks like the animated version. This looks like the comic book version. This is the Venom that I have always wanted to see on the big screen. Huge, hulking, black suit, massive traps, eating people's faces off. This is the Venom that I have always wanted to see on the big screen, and they nailed it. The action scenes when Venom is tearing apart these different squadrons of like soldiers and like all these different like groups of people that are trying to take him out, so good. He looks amazing, and Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, I thought did a fantastic job as portraying Eddie Brock, that conflicted kind of loser, down and out guy. I thought he did a great job of portraying Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock's relationship with the Venom symbiote was the thing that I loved in this movie. That was the biggest thing that I had to love in this movie, along with how Venom looked and the action sequences in this movie. I loved those parts. Some of the things that I hated, the dialogue in parts of this movie were not just bad, they were atrocious. Some parts in this movie, the dialogue was so hard to get past. And then the villain, Riz Ahmed, is a great actor, but this Carlton Drake character was horrible, and his henchmen were even worse. The villains in this movie were not good at all, and those were the biggest areas that I hated. Really hated the villain, and I did not like just a lot of the script, a lot of the dialogue in this movie. However, now I'm kind of playing in the middle, so I've told you the things I've hated, the things I've loved. Some of the things in the middle, the story, not bad. The story wasn't bad. The score, fantastic. This is one of those movie scores that you can download, maybe on Spotify, iTunes, whatever. You download that, you throw it on when you're at the gym, whatever. The soundtrack to Venom was amazing. One of the best scores for a movie that I've seen this year. Absolutely loved it. I won't get into any spoiler talk. So, what I'm going to say about Venom is that it had a lot of parts to love as a Venom fan. It had some areas to dislike, but if you can get over the fact that it's not part of the Spider-Man universe, it's not part of the MCU. If this was tied into the MCU, if this movie, as it is right now, was tied into the MCU, but they gave us this exact movie and it was supposed to be part of the MCU, I would definitely hate it, because we saw no Spider-Man, we had no ties to the MCU, and it just doesn't fit that Spider-Man storyline that we got with Spider-Man having the symbiote suit, shedding it to Eddie Brock, them having that conflict with being rivals with the Daily Bugle, things like that. We didn't get any of that, but it's not part of the MCU. This is the Sonyverse, and because of that, I'm okay with the story that they told us. I'm 100% okay with that. And you know what? I like the things that they're teeing up with the next Venom movie. I really am on board with what they gave us. And you know what? Even though the first time I saw it I was conflicted, after seeing it the second time, I'm not. I really enjoyed it a lot. And as I was getting into this movie more and more, the more I saw the Venom-Eddie relationship, the sequences I saw Venom taking out these soldiers, the end fight with Riot and Venom, like I really liked this movie a lot. It's something that is extremely rewatchable. It's not even something, like, it's not a long, brooding movie either. Like, it starts off, you get some character development with Tom Hardy and Eddie Brock, and then once it gets into the Venom stuff, there's a lot to like in this movie. And I have no, I mean, I told you the bad things, but I really enjoyed it. If I was to score it out of 10, you know, the parts I hated, I would maybe 4 out of 10. Maybe a 4 out of 10. But then the parts I loved, 9 out of 10. Maybe 10 out of 10. I really liked the Eddie Brock Venom relationship, how Venom looked, the action sequences. Everything I've wanted in a Venom movie, I got, minus the Spider-Man storyline, but we're forgetting about that. It's not part of the MCU. So to come somewhere in between, but leaning more towards the things I loved, I would realistically give it an 8 out of 10. I know some people are going to say they hated this movie. It sucked. It wasn't good. But then other people, the theater I was in, at the end, people were clapping applauding this movie. I did not expect that. In both screenings, yesterday and today, people at the end of the movie were clapping. Audiences were enjoying this movie because not everybody is a super diehard Spider-Man fan like I am. Some people are just going to have a fun time at the theater regardless of all the comic book mythology that came before it. And you know what? There's a lot to love in this movie if you just go in to see it and absorb it and watch it for what it is. And you know what? That's what I did the second time, and I really enjoyed it. So those are my thoughts on Venom. 8 out of 10. I really liked it. I'm excited for what they have in the future. If they don't do any more movies with Venom, say it doesn't make enough money, say the audience reception or the Rotten Tomato scores kills any sequel that they have, you know what? Throw Venom into the MCU. Give us what we have right now. Throw it into the MCU. I mean, obviously tie it into the Spider-Man storyline, reboot it, but let him look exactly how he looked in this movie because it looked so good. This is how Venom should look. Just physically, this is how Venom should look. So, Marvel, if you're the next one to do a Venom movie, make him look like this. Please. Sony, if you do another movie, keep doing what you're doing because I really enjoyed this movie. But those are my thoughts on Venom. Also, tomorrow is the Conor Khabib fight. A lot of people have been kind of asking me what my thoughts are on that fight. You have two very opposite styles. Just kind of my quick predictions. I think Conor is going to be able to stuff the takedown because this is very different than what I was just talking about. But I wanted to cover it before today's you guys are watching it. But yeah, if you guys aren't into UFC, you can end the video right now. I'm just going to talk about the Conor Khabib fight here at the end. But I think that this is a huge fight with a lot on the line. Conor brings a special aura about him. He brings a very rambunctious crowd that gets in everybody's head so far. I don't know if Khabib's any different. I know that the last time we saw Khabib, he looked like he could definitely get punched. His stand-up's not on Conor's level. If Conor can stuff the takedown, I think he knocks him out in the second round. If not, I think Khabib will definitely wrestle the crap out of him into a decision. However, I do think Conor gets it done in the second round by knockout. That's my prediction for UFC 229. But that is going to wrap up the vlog. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you haven't subscribed. Go down and hit that red subscribe button. Also, if you guys have seen Venom, what'd you think? Comment down below. If you haven't seen Venom, let me know. Are you going to go see it? Are you excited to see it? Or are you not? But again, thanks so much for watching, guys. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.